make sure your lights are are not on, stuff like that. So it starts to take this kind of a I would say like a snowball effect where you start worrying about things that you weren't worrying about until you started worrying about that door. And I think all of us carry that a little bit. I know for me, you start, let's say for example, you start thinking about if you're you can say if you're laying a credit card or whatnot, then you start thinking about if about the rent, if you're gonna be able to pay your rent, if you're gonna be able to pay your bills, if you're gonna not be laid off. Like you have all these things piling up in your mind, and a lot of us have that freezing time. We just freeze up and we don't want to do anything. We don't even want to go outside or be part of anything. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I wanted to just jump on again here with my daily videos. Almost didn't make it. Almost didn't make any videos today. Gonna make a quick little video here. Um, it's so easy to kind of give yourself a break, take a day off here and there. I've done it many times, but sometimes I kind of question myself: is it because I don't have anything to talk about, or is it because I am feeling kind of not up to it? It depends on, I guess, every individual, but I think we have to really, as long as I've been learning about myself and learning about this journey here, reading the Linchpin book by Seth Godin, he talks about how oftentimes, we all know what to do. I think I said in my last video, but we never really do it. So we have all the manuals, the courses, the classes, the instructions, but we never do it. And I think that that decision from taking action and actually like just abandoning it, it's just a small, I would say a small couple of seconds that we do every day. And and it's our, obviously it's our insecurities, our fears, our anxiety, and whatever you want to call it. We all have that small voice in the back of our heads, which he talks about in the book real quick, and I want to share with you guys. He talks about where we make certain things a lot bigger than what they are. So he gives an example as, for example, let's say you go to bed and you start thinking about if you locked your front door, right? And it's happened to me many times. And I'm in bed. I'm like, I want to make sure that I have closed the door, so I'll get up. And you go in and make sure the door is closed. Now, that's normal, right? We all have that. We check, we double check. But now you get up again a couple of minutes later to check the door, then you check your windows, and you check, make sure your lights are are not on, stuff like that. So it starts to take this kind of a I would say like a snowball effect where you start worrying about things that you weren't worrying about until you started worrying about that door. And I think all of us carry that a little bit. I know for me, you start, let's say for example, you start thinking about if you're you can say if you're laying a credit card or whatnot, then you start thinking about if about the rent, if you're gonna be able to pay your rent, if you're gonna be able to pay your bills, if you're gonna not be laid off. Like you have all these things piling up in your mind, and a lot of us have that freezing time. We just freeze up and we don't want to do anything. We don't even want to go outside or be part of anything because we feel that it's too much. So I know, particularly now with this time, everything's going on. It's a little bit, I think, easier said than done, especially all these things that we have going on right now in the world. But I think we want to be safe about certain things. We want to be, obviously, part of the safe and sorry, but not to the extent that we are not gonna do anything. Like we're just gonna kind of sit somewhere and hide and hopefully find survive. And I think it's a it's a double edged sword to call it. We don't want to be, I guess, I would say maybe just non I would say non like have no strategy, but you don't want to just like wait to build a strategy to do anything. So it goes for anything in life, whether we're right now what we're facing right now with the whole virus thing. You want to be safe, you want to be smart, but you don't want to just I think halt everything and not do anything, because life still goes on and we still have a lot to live, and certain things like this happen all every couple of years or so. It's just about being smart and safe about it. But it's funny because this is a great topic right now because of what's going on. But I think in any other part of our lives, you might want to do something. You might want to start a brand. You might want to put yourself out there. We kind of hesitate because we kind of I would say project our fears, and our own anxiety or our mind kind of projects this like movie that never really gonna happen. It might not happen at all, but and even if it did, it's not the worst thing that can happen, right? And I think I know for me, starting the channel, doing all these things, you kind of really worried a lot about how things are gonna turn out, and most of the time your mind doesn't give you like a good outcome. It gives you the worst possible scenarios. Kind of like the Debbie Downer from the Saturday Night Live. Excuse me. If you guys ever watched the show, I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but they always had a segment where one of the ladies there, they call her Debbie, and they call it the Debbie Downer because they will have some type of great celebration or something to say, and she will always come back with a worst case scenario answer, and she would just kill everybody's vibes. Everybody would be like, oh my god, they don't want to be around her, and we all know some people like that as well. But I think sometimes we ourselves are our own Debbie Downers in our own mind. We have that in our own mind, and I think that show kind of like hindsight looking it back now. I think the whoever wrote that kind of from a real story from their own mind and made it to actual person, and I think that person is in our lives on a daily basis, and being able to understand that certain things gonna happen, right? We are gonna have certain things that are gonna happen that are not gonna turn out our way, are gonna probably go against us, but it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. We got a lot of things coming, and I think staying positive and staying in that situation, you get more ideas, more creativity. You're able to kind of expand your open mindedness, and be able to accept what comes your way and not let it, I think, kind of hold you back or strand us. And the more you're able to kind of just stay open minded, um, and understand that, kind of like he gives an example where if you really think about it, I know for me it's happened a couple of times. I'm driving on the highway, and you might be speeding maybe 5 miles per hour above the speed limit, and you're stopped by a police officer, and your mind is like, oh man, I'm gonna get this huge ticket. Now I'm gonna go to court. Now I'm gonna have to pay a big fine. How can I afford it? Maybe I might get my license suspended. All these scenarios that are obviously worst case scenario. And I know sometimes, I mean, one time the police officer like just gave me a break, right? So nothing happened, right? So obviously all this worrying I was doing in my mind didn't really do anything about it, because I was actually very lucky and grateful that the officer said, hey, you have a clean record. I'm gonna just let you go this time. Be careful. And the next time I did get stopped a couple years later for in a certain zone, and I did get a ticket, and I did get a police on my license. But I mean, I still have my license. I'm still driving. So I think the mind plays a scenario like that. The worst thing's gonna happen. I had to pay a fine, but hey, that's not a big deal. You pay it, you move on, you learn. And I think in life, and I think in general, we all have that. We have things coming up, and we kind of, I think, project the worst. And I think all of us have that. So if you guys are watching this today and you're kind of going to, or going through a tough time, or are expecting something to happen that's not going to go your way, um, I think for me personally, what worked was just keep an open mind, try to look at what the good is in the situation, and where can we grow? Like, what can we grow from it? Like, what does it teach us, and what where is it that this is gonna be beneficial for us, as opposed to like all the worst things happening, right? Again, I think it's something that we gotta practice, and he says in the book as well, that is like basically, if you look at it in terms of, when you have an itch, you itch somewhere in your body, you scratch it, it feels good, but you keep on scratching it, it just gets worse, right? It doesn't go away. I just had an itch right now, but it doesn't go away, right? So same thing with that, by us feeding into anxiety, feeding into the worry, we're not making it go away. We're actually making it worse. So another a great way would be just to acknowledge it, love it, see the mind, see the thoughts, love it, but kind of stay calm in that situation and let things play out. And hopefully, you're able to learn from it. You're able to grow, and you know, keep yourself open minded. So I think we all have it in our minds. We are afraid to start certain things because people want to judge us, going to look at us, and I think it's all in our minds. So again, this is the reason why we have this channel. Hope you guys love it, enjoy it. Comment down below. Like I said every time, just go out there and try to be the best of yourself and try to do stuff, more of the stuff you love and less of the things that you don't. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.